Booker on the move. Bridges catching.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was a nice shot by Mikal Bridges. I'm not going to take anything away from that corner three, which hit nothing but net, but did y'all catch what he did afterwards? If not, let me zoom in here a bit to show you.
Catch. Guy running at you.
Sheesh, guys. Here's a guy who has 0 rings, who's made 0 All-Star teams, trying to show off that he just made a 3 by sticking 3 fingers out to Klay Thompson. The Phoenix Suns, man. These guys just don't learn. And this play proves it. I think they need another Luka special. Devin Booker talked some trash earlier in the season to Klay. Then, despite Steph Curry having another historic season, they got him at the bottom of the MVP race. Then, instead of blowing the whistles when other players are clearly fouling Steph, they're calling him for the technical instead. The disrespect list just goes on and on and on and on. But trust me when I say they're going to regret all of this in due time, and one man is going to make sure of it. In case you haven't been keeping up with the basketball world, Steph Curry is on a rampage. Currently for the season, check this out. You'll actually have to see it for yourself to believe it. But the man is averaging 31.5 points, 6.6 rebounds, and 6.4 assists on efficiencies of 52% from the field, 43% from three-point range, and 92% at the free throw line. His effective field goal percentage is at 64.7%, and you know what that means. He's actually more efficient than he was during his unanimous MVP year. This is a dude who's 34, turning 35 this season, and he's only getting better and better. That actually defies logic. And if you're wondering how this is all possible, well, a huge reason why is because he's gotten stronger. Yeah, that's right. I mean, here's an image of Steph when he first entered the league, and this is him now. Sheesh, guys, look at how strong this dude got. And look at Booker's face there too. That's going to be the expression he'll have for the whole summer after Steph gives him his second Luka special. Anyway, Steph's strength has really allowed him to become a much better finisher at the rim. Here's what I mean. Here's Draymond with the ball. Once he passes it to Steph as he's cutting to the rim, DeAndre Ayton, a 7-foot, 250-pound Goliath, goes to protect the basket, and a 10 years younger Steph would have bounced right off him, but the Steph today is actually able to use his body to fend off the Phoenix center to create the space needed to finish the play. Here's the same thing again. Steph drives towards the basket and uses his body as an actual shield to create the angle he needed to score the basket. As a result of this increased strength, Steph now actually has the 3rd highest true shooting percentage in the entire league, just right behind players who dunk for a living like Larry Nance Jr. and Bol Bol. Then at the same time, his three-point is as deadly as ever, and he knows it. I mean, look at this play. The Warriors are down 3 with a little over a minute to go in the 4th, against one of the best teams currently in the NBA, and here's Steph. He catches the ball from Draymond, then in a clutch situation, he lets it fly. And the crazy thing here is, midway through the shot, he looks at the Cavaliers bench while still down 3. Man, if that ain't an MVP type of play, then I don't know what is. And to think they got this guy as the 10th guy on the MVP list. Sheesh, guys. The disrespect. It's getting out of hand. Here's another quick play. After 30 seconds after the previous play I just showed you, the Warriors are up by just 1. And again, in a tight game against an elite team. Look at what he does. A 1-2 pick and roll with Klay and splash, splash, butter, baby. I know the Warriors aren't looking that great in the standings right now, but you can't have this man 10th on any MVP list. Anyways, moving on here, the Warriors' current slump is exactly what I predicted after they let go of GP2 and Otto Porter. Growing pains. The Warriors literally have had to integrate 7 new players into their rotation. Moody, Kuminga, Wiseman, Ty Jerome, Anthony Lamb, Dante DiVincenzo, and JaMychal Green. Oh, and don't worry, I'll definitely have more on JaMychal later. I have to. I must. But anyway, so far, Anthony Lamb and Dante DiVincenzo have almost got the Warriors system figured out and have forged their spots into the rotation. But it'll take some time to get at least 2 more of these guys in. And once that's complete, the Warriors are going to dominate again. Speaking of which, James Wiseman was recently sent down to the G League.
James Wiseman, you in the G League, bro? The G League?
G League.
with that talent? They got you in the G League? What the were you doing that you're 7 foot behind who can ball? You in the G League.
I know Stephen A absolutely hates this, but honestly, this was the best possible move for both him and the organization. He hasn't been bad per se, but the thing about playing on a championship team is, the Warriors can't afford him making mistakes at the moment. But the thing he needs the most is to learn by making mistakes. And the truth of the matter is, there's no better place for that than the G League. A perfect example of this theory in action is the growth of Jordan Poole. In the 2020-21 season, he started off the season averaging just 5.5 points and was in the negatives when it came to the plus-minus department. Steve Kerr didn't like what he saw and sent the JP3 down to the G League, and after he came back, he became the pool party and averaged 14.7 points for the rest of the season, was a positive in the plus-minus department, and eventually became a key contributor on a championship team. And here's the good news. For everything I've been hearing about Wiseman, the kid works hard, has his mindset on basketball, and if you look at his credentials up until the NBA, the kid has been a winner his whole life, but got unlucky with some NCAA bull. And then, as we all know, a first-year injury. Here's what I predict. He's going to go to the G League, play like 10 games or so while averaging 30 minutes per day, then go home and average 3 hours per night on NBA 2K23, and from there, he's going to learn and clean up a lot of the mistakes that he's been making. Then when he gets back to the NBA, the Warriors are going to have another key member added to the rotation. And I'm sure if they faced off against the Suns again, DeAndre Ayton isn't going to have many of those easy looks at the basket again, and instead, he's going to be gasping for air. And speaking of easy looks at the basket, a lot of people are giving Klay Thompson a lot of pressure because of the way he's been shooting. But trust me when I say that Klay is going to be back. It's all mental for him right now, and once he gets past that, everything is going to come together. I mean, remember last season when Steph went on that shooting slump? Sheesh, that was bad. But look at him now. He's shooting better than ever, and that whole episode is now in the rearview mirror. Well, anyways, here's what I found out about what Klay is struggling with at the moment and why I'm positive he's going to bounce back. It's actually pretty simple. If you just look at the numbers, Klay's missing wide open shots. Forget about his defense at the moment, but the fact that he's shooting just 26% when no defender is within 6 feet of him is actually a good thing. I mean, he's taking the proper shots, and given what we've seen of his in the past, these shots will eventually start falling, and when they do, it's game over. Next off is Jordan Poole. So far, minus that 36-point outing against San Antonio, the pool party hasn't really looked like himself as of late. It's likely due to 2 reasons. The first being that teams around the league saw him in the 2022 playoffs and realized what he's capable of, and they're game planning for him now. The second being that the league is now enforcing carrying, and they're calling him for it, which is messing up his judgment. I'm not too worried about it. Time and time again, from what everyone in the organization says, Jordan Poole is the hardest worker there is, and I'm sure he'll adjust to these 2 new challenges. Growing pains. It's exactly what I predicted, and it's what the Warriors are going through at the moment. And while the media, the Phoenix Suns, and others are currently disrespecting the Warriors because of this little hump they're going through, once Golden State figures it out, which will be around the All-Star break, the entire NBA is going to start regretting it because receipts are piling up. Anyways, back onto something I alluded to earlier. One Warrior that I'm not too sure of is, you've guessed it, JaMychal Green. In that tight game against Phoenix, he went 1 for 7 from the field and committed 4 personal fouls in 17 minutes of game time. What baffles me is that most of his shots were point-blank layups. My goodness, guys. After that game, I went on Reddit and laughed. Because this is what Warriors fans currently think of him. One Warriors fan actually created a whole post of him and posed the question, what does he even do? Like, actually, can someone tell me what he does well? Then going into the comments, Warriors fans were saying things like, he gives you 5 fouls to work with a game. Can't believe I actually missed Bjelica. We really thought that guy was bad until we started playing this useless bum. Fumbles passes, blows layups, missed open threes, overhelps on defense, leave his man on defense under the rim, gets beat down court by a center, randomly fouls for no reason. This man is genuinely useless. He sent my boy Wiseman to the G League, #FreeWise. Sheesh, guys. Some of these fans' comments were harsh, but honestly, I was facepalming myself as he missed shot after shot after shot in a game where Steph went for 50, and while I hope he turns his season around, I think most fans feel like this about him currently.